accomplished. And thinking about the threats, another thing that we reassess every year is, the obstacles change. They change because of what the competition is doing. They may change because of technology with other people getting ahead of the game. If we used to hand write all of our labels, and then at some point it was obvious that we needed to take the next step and learn about label making and using the computer so I could have better looking labels. But another threat would be, we think about, this photo is of some herbal vinegars that we did for a number of years. Well, in recent years the health regulations have changed so that we have to go to commercial kitchen to make those herbal vinegars, and when I sat down and really looked closely at the cost analysis of what that would be for time for me to go to commercial kitchen, to pay for the rental of the kitchen, go through that process, I ended up eliminating that as a product that we were selling simply because I took the time to assess things and do a SWOT analysis. Now this template, I doubt that you can see it very clearly, but there is a sample of a SWOT analysis template on the Moodle site, and I hope that you will take the time to look at that. And I just put this up here so it would be familiar with you, but it's so blurry I'm going to move past this. But on the template, going through the template, it has criteria examples for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And it has a lot of different examples of each of those criteria. And you just kind of have to, when you go through and use that as your template, kind of go through and pick out specifically what will work for you. I went through a new product that we tried out last year. I've started making some value-added products to go along with the produce and cut flowers and herbs that we do at the market. And the last time I was in Boise, I actually was able to come across some wonderful local beeswax, so I decided to try making a beeswax lip balm. And this is the label that goes on the lip balm. And when I decided to do this, the first thing I was going to do was first figure out how to make it and come up with some different ideas of it. And then last year I just did a small batch and tried it out at the market. And then I went through the process of doing a SWOT analysis for this lip balm. And in determining the strengths for this, I used that SWOT analysis template, and I went through and picked out some specific criteria examples that I thought would be applicable to this particular product. Looking at the advantages, the unique selling points, the different things that I have listed here. The advantage certainly is that we can make it in the wintertime when we have downtime. We're not farming, so we can take the time to be making value-added products. We also do value-added jams in the wintertime, and a gardener's herbal hand salve that we've started doing. So with the lip balm, part of the reason I start doing that is no one else has it at the farmer's market, and using local beeswax. The price is for the financial returns and the price, value, and quality. I sell it for $3. It's very easy for a shopper to pick up. Looking at the market and marketing aspects, like I said, I tested the market last year by just doing, I think I took a batch of about 50 to market, and I sold out in the first 2 weeks, and then I didn't have time to make anymore. So in finding and getting return customers coming back and asking for more, I've decided I'll probably expand on that considerably, because the cost is 43 cents per lip balm, and I'll show you some examples of how I came up with the pricing. But thinking about being able to, I pretty much just sell it at the farmer's market or from home, and in our dry climate everybody needs lip balm, so that's a strength. The criteria examples for the weaknesses, the disadvantages are the regulations may certainly change, and that's something that I have to check regularly. I'll and see if anything is going to change with that, because I'd hate to make a couple hundred of those or more and have the regulations change and make it so I couldn't sell it. Vulnerabilities, obviously, it's a wax, so it would melt if it was really hot, so I have to be careful about not leaving it out in the sun, but I also, in making it, in my testing process, had to make sure it was something that wouldn't melt when you put it in your pocket. And once sold out, I probably wouldn't make any more during the peak of the summer, so it's kind of the SWOT analysis is a way for me to help determine how much I should make, and we'll just kind of play that by ear as we go. But this has really helped me determine what the opportunities are. Looking at the competitors, we have probably 80 farmers at our market, and there's only one that's doing a type of lotion, and no one's doing a lip balm. And the tourists and locals really like to pick up something that says made in Sandpoint and locally made, and like I said before, the production is done in the winter, and the label design is something that I can do on my own computer, and it's got to be sturdy enough to endure the damp days and be in the pocket. So I've kind of played around with different things with that, looking at it, and being able to do my own label certainly makes a difference. And then, of course, looking at the threats. It's very likely that competitors will copy me. It seems to happen with most everything that I end up taking to market sooner or later. But I think that competition is healthy. It makes me, every year, while I may grumble about it, I still reassess and reevaluate and go through the process of looking at doing something a little bit differently. So the threats, certainly like the regulations with the herbal vinegars, they could change, and I'll just deal with that when the time comes, and keep looking forward and doing this SWOT analysis as I go through each item. I have done a SWOT analysis. I'm not going to go over this. I'll just leave this up here for you to look at. But I've done a SWOT analysis for expanding on our bean crop. I've done a SWOT analysis for expanding on our garlic crop. Just really looking closely at different things that we're thinking about expanding in the field, and really looking closely at what the costs are. The SWOT analysis is really just looking at your strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats, but you also need to be looking at the cost analysis of that. And next week, I know Craig's going to go a lot more into the cost analysis of different things. We would also do a gross profit analysis of most of the different products that we're doing in the field, and that's a good reason why you really need to be tracking, keeping good records, doing your harvest records, and you need to know what your yields are from your field to be able to take it to the next level, and a SWOT analysis is really a handy tool for you to use. And since most of you have done one, I encourage you to do more of them and take the time to just kind of take specific products and do a SWOT analysis on them. The Building a Sustainable Business book has, I mean, you're going to have a lot of reading material to do, and you just have to push forward and get as much done as you can, and work through this process, because the whole point of taking this course is to help you improve with your sales and your marketing and your management of your business, and the tools that you're going to gather here will really benefit you in so many ways.